The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of our Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I mean. It's my scene, you know what.
Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. Oh, that light is bright. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate, but hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now, I am finally answering you guys' unpopular opinions, well, me reacting to you guys' unpopular opinions about panty and stocking, mainly because people are talking about panty and stocking again, and I was like, nah, I feel like there's a lot of things that need to be discussed about this series. I love it for a few reasons, but overall the show needs a lot of work, and let's go ahead and get into it. This shouldn't even be an unpopular opinion, but like, the show's very racist, so much I couldn't even finish despite how fun I had watching it. Gaterbelt in general is just weird with the gag of him being a predatory gay priest, like, but because everyone hypes up the new season, any type of critique about the problematic stuff in the show gets drowned out. Stop ruining the hype. The issue I have with a lot of anime, not just this one, is the character designs of any black character. The show made in 2010, full access to the internet, observable what actual black people look like, but weaves racially emphasized Japanese people with any kind of excuse that makes the obvious racist actions. Even though we already have shows like Cowboy Bebop and Michiko and Hatching, which have great character designs for black people in these shows. Telling weaves that something is racist is like telling an infant the concept of object permanence. Just because they don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but because they shut down any discussion, it's unlike the things will change in season 3. Let me go ahead and tell you, I agree with the entire thing about how a lot of people tend to baby Japanese people when it comes to a lot of things, and those two main things being the subject of race and sexuality, specifically like when it comes to dating and such. They do not want to hear it. Like, so many people, like, okay, here's the deal. So many people don't seem to understand that like anime is not real life. Like, people who have visited Japan before, like specifically Tokyo, where a lot of these animes take place in. Panty and Stocking didn't take place in Tokyo. It took place in Dotton City, which it's probably like a Tokyo type city. It kind of looked more like an American city if we're being real. But anyway, yeah, I think Panty and Stocking actually was designed after an American city. But anyway, let's continue. Anime is not what it is. Like, that's not what Japan is. And I think so many people are just wrapped up into this idea that this is what Japan is like. Japan is perfect, this and that and the third. Because I remember one time during my panel from MomoCon, somebody tried to say something about how anime is much better than Western cartoons. And I was like, oh, hell no. They got a whole different set of issues over there. And I feel like it's a thing where people... You know how people just have a problem with anything a black person says. Anytime black people try to critique not just white people, but just non-black people of color on their racism, people be like, oh, you're being racist, this and that. And like, people always trying to say that black people are being mean to Asian people and this and that and the third, which, yes, is true. I am somebody who has seen that shit happen in real life, and it sucks. Like, I agree that black people can be racist towards Asian people, and Asian people can be racist towards black people. But it is not racist for when black people call Asian people out for being anti-black. Like, y'all gonna get checked just like these white people, okay? Like, there's so many issues with the subject of race, and not just race with anime, but also colorism. Gaterbelt's character in 2010, he should not have looked like that. I don't care what nobody says. His design is very much unacceptable, okay? Like, no, like, Panty and Stocking's gonna come back. I personally would like it just, this is just my opinion. I know they're not going to listen to me or whatever, but I really think Garterbelt's character just shouldn't be there, or they should just replace him. Like, or get up. I don't know. I really don't like Garterbelt's character. Anytime I'm talking about panty and stalking, like, when I, like, because I love panty and stalking, I really don't talk about his character because he just kind of did nothing for me. Overall, the new season, I am very concerned because, as we know, panty and stalking is a product of its time. In 2010, it was still like, y'all remember that era of YouTube where like everybody was making racist ass videos? That's when panty and stalking came out. So that was like the thing at the time period, which was still very wrong. But panty and stalking is a product of its time, and I don't know how it's gonna be with season 2. Are they gonna change things? Because there's a lot of things about it that do need to be changed. But the racist shit in it is something that really does bother me. Alright. Honestly, it was funny for what it was. True raunchy shows don't always hit for some, but I found it funny. Did it age well? No. But it's okay to still enjoy some things about the show while not disregarding the problems that it has. I fully do agree with this one right here. Harry and Stalking aged poorly. There are so many episodes that are just unbearable to watch, while some are actually great and I enjoy it. Like I said, it's a true raunchy comedy. It's funny for what it is. But I low key feel like there's no longer a need for this show. Like, that's why when I saw it was season 2, I was very excited. But at the same time, I was just like, is this gonna work in this day and age without getting ripped to shreds? Like, people were getting mad at people for critiquing the show, and I was like, no, people have every right to critique the show because so much of the shit that was in it was very wrong and needed to be called out for. Like I said, y'all gotta stop babying Japanese people when they are being ignorant, okay? Because there's so much wrong things in anime, and I'm gonna be real, so much of the fucked up shit that was in panty and stalking isn't a lot of these other little animes that y'all like too, but y'all don't want to acknowledge that. Alright. Brief and Chuck deserve so much better. They are mostly the punching bags of the Anarchy sisters, but I hope they get their own spotlight in the upcoming season. Okay, Brief, Brief did deserve better, but oh my god. Oh, sorry, my phone went off. But Brief and the sisters, I didn't really have much of an issue with that there because, like, you know, they were like, you know, that's how they just were interacting with like men and all that shit. Like, that right there doesn't really bother me all that much. But Chuck, that really bothered me. I didn't like seeing how they would beat the fuck out of that dog. Like, it would be literal animal abuse going on in the show. And it was very disturbing to see. I don't like it when people hit animals. Like, it was just very, very disturbing to see. And with Chuck, I do agree. Not Chuck, Brief, they could have treated him a lot better. But that's just kind of like their dynamic. And also, I don't know what it was, but it seemed like Brief kind of enjoyed them treating him like shit. Like, did anyone else get that vibe? Okay, let's move on. A lot of the show's hype comes from its looking so unique. I feel like it's more of a generic anime style, and had been carried by writing, it would have become nearly as popular as it is today. I agree. Main reason why I love Panty and Stocking so much is because I really like the way it looks. And I love to draw it. This is like my favorite art style ever. If you guys are reading my webcomic Justice for Nito, that will be updated sometime soon. I just have not had the time. I'm gonna get around to updating it, but I love the art style so much of this show. If it looked like any other generic ass anime, I probably wouldn't have cared. I'm gonna be real, I'm just speaking for myself. I wouldn't have. My unpopular opinion is that looking back, I think the ending of the show was so dumb. I remember watching it when I was younger, and it seemed like everyone thought it was a good twist ending, but I just agree. I don't know, thinking on it now, it felt like it came out of nowhere. Maybe people only like it because it set up the possibility for more episodes in the future. I don't like that fucking ending. I actually really don't like it at all. Like, the ending honestly made me not like stalking. Like, I was never really that big of a fan of stalking from the beginning because I found her, like, even though Panty could be a bit much at times, it's just kind of like stalking act as if she was so much better than her sister, where she could be just as bad as her too. And I remember somebody had mentioned on my Tumblr blog, and they were like, I don't understand, because a lot of stalking stans act like that too. Like, they act like her. They were like, Panty, they were like, people like stalking for the reasons they hate Panty. And I was like, yeah, because both sisters do sleep around. Like, okay, like the fuck. And like a lot of what Stocking did was like no different than what her sister did too. I think Stocking's appearance had a lot to do with why like so many people just kind of like disregarded so much of like how she acted towards her sister and this and that and the third. Because she honestly could be really fucking terrible with a panty sometimes. Like, Stocking was not there for Penny like Penny was for her. Like, y'all know that episode when she was dating that gross ass dude, the one that like literally looked like shit. Penny was there for her, like telling her this is not a mistake. Don't do this. This man treats you like ass. She literally said he treats her like ass because he did. And Stocking was just like, nah, 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 nah. And then that entire episode where like Patty was getting like all the spotlight for being famous and all of that. Like, I'm just not Stocking Hive. I'm sorry. And then just knowing that she literally chopped up her sister at the end just really made me not like her in general. I just, oh Jesus, no. I just don't like that ending. It honestly ruins Stocking's character. But then also, it kind of makes sense because it makes sense. Like, if you actually paid attention to the show, you would see, oh yeah, I could see why she did that to her. But yeah, the ending, I didn't like it. Like the actual ending before that scene was better, but like the ending, no. I honestly think Stocking and Brief would have made a better couple. Why does everyone say this? What? I mean, okay, let me think back. I did like the scenes with them in the episodes where, you know, Scanty and Esox first show up and they were like fighting in the school. I did like how Stocking, even though like she like basically saved Brief's ass because he was about to be beat the fuck up. He was about to die. I did like how Stocking was there for them to help him, but like, it's obvious that like he wasn't really interested in Stocking like that. Like, he liked Penny. Like, I get it. I can see Brief and Stalking working, but one thing about it is like why I hate so many people like talk about this ship is because, like I said, so many people are just really, really anti-Panty, and so many people like Stalking so much because she has that like Lolita goth thing going on, and y'all know them creepy ass dudes, and y'all know, I'm telling y'all, we have met this really creepy ass man at the MomoCon when me and Kayla were cosplaying as Penny and Stocking, and Kaylee was Stocking. And this man, he like openly was like admitting how he liked lolicon and shit like that. And I was like, okay, we need to get away from you. But a lot of like people that like love Stocking over Penny, and I would go through like their socials and shit like that, they're really into that stuff. So that's why it's like, I don't know. I feel like so many people like see themselves as Brief and they wanted Stalking to be with him instead. I don't know. So many people's biases towards Stalking, they honestly make me raise my eyebrows so much because of the entire thing that surrounds, like, you know, lolicon. Like, that stuff makes me really, like, disturbed. Okay? Like, Okay, I like this one right here. Some people treated the show like it was peak comedy when it was really not that great. Sure, the show was a fun pastime, and the toilet humor and the sex humor didn't land for me, and it just came across as corny. I understand that a lot of Penny and Stocking was supposed to be satire, but this show was a bit much, if that makes sense. No, like, okay. I'm somebody that does not find sex humor and toilet humor funny in the long run. I don't find shit jokes and piss jokes to be funny, okay? I don't think that shit is hilarious, okay? I mentioned that in my Disney XD video where so many of the shows on Disney XD were like had a whole bunch of shit jokes in them. Sex humor, it gets really, really old fast. Like, there's another comment right here that says that it gets so old fast. And it's just like, okay, it was funny after like the first two jokes, but once they come to three, you're overstaying your welcome, my guy. And I don't like how so much of like Patty's like dialogue is like related to sex, because so much it makes a lot of what she's saying is not funny. Like, y'all know how like in middle school where people will be like talking about like sex and shit like that, and next thing you know it's like everybody starts giggling and laughing, and like that's what it feels like with this show. It's like they say something about sex and then they expect you to laugh. Like, no, like that's just because you make a joke about getting it in does not mean that that is funny. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't find sex humor to be funny anymore. I don't. This show's humor did not age well. The show was always poorly written. I agree. Like I said, I like the aesthetic of the show and I like the characters of the show more than the actual show itself. Listen, y'all remember my video? I don't know if y'all watched it yet, but my Disney XD video where I was talking about how, like, you ever notice some weird shit up in a cartoon and then you realize it was made by men? That's penny and stalking. Like, if this show was written by women, I think it would have been much better. The storyline in this show does not make any fucking sense. Like, have y'all noticed that the show low-key did not start to pick up until, like, Scanty and Nissan came in? Like, midway through season 1. And it's not even that, because that's a stretch. The episode Panty plus Brief is really when it started to pick up. And I didn't get it, because I was just like, wait a fucking minute. How is this show gonna feel extremely episodic and then finally start to get a storyline in the last 2 damn episodes? What? They didn't know what they were doing with the show. If they wanted to make Penny and Stocking just a episodic show, they could have done that. I don't understand why they felt the need to bring that storyline in at the end. But it's weird, because if you actually like pay attention, you see that the storyline was always there. Like, it's annoying. Like I said, I really think this show would have benefited if they had some women on the team, because so much of it just like felt as if how they thought women acted and not how they actually did act. I agree with this one. The ending of the anime is too random for me. It seems like they don't know how to continue the story. They didn't. Like, it's giving, like, y'all know how Miraculous Ladybug keep resetting the fucking plot of the show to progress it? Like, they finally stopped doing that shit in season 4, and then right when we thought we were getting some progress, they reset the plot again. That's what this shit felt like. I don't like how Stocking just flipped out on her sister in the end and just cut her ass up, but it also made sense why she would do that, because we saw how she was to her. They were both terrible to each other. But it's like the signs were there. I saw it coming, but it really felt like they didn't know how to continue the story. Penny and Stocking works much better as an episodic show than a story-driven one. I don't understand why they were trying to go with that story-driven shit in the first place. Like, no. Like, there were some good moments with it being story-driven, but then overall, it just didn't really hit too well. The writing really needed a lot of work with this series. Okay, and one thing I don't understand about the writing being ass is that these were 11-minute segments. You do not have that much long to write the episode. Like, and I'm like, okay, there's like certain episodes where it's like a bunch of nothing happens. And I was like, how are you gonna have this shit, but this show actually has a storyline with it? Like, I love the bottle episode a lot. Like, that one could have stayed. But that one where Penny and Stocking were stuck inside a Brief's body, that one was like very uncalled for. Like, a lot of these episodes, some of them are just like, yeah, we didn't need this. Christopher Sabat is a talented voice actor, but his blaccent with the gaterbelt character makes me uncomfortable. Would it have been appropriate to get a black voice actor considering gaterbelt's design? I don't know. But non-black folks putting blaccent to voice us makes me always uncomfortable. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't like the fact that a white man voiced Gaterbelt, but then also I don't like Gaterbelt's character to begin with. Panty and Stocking really could have done without his character. Like, when people are talking about Panty and Stocking and reminiscing on it, they're not talking about Gaterbelt. They're talking about Panty. They're talking about Stocking. They're talking about Brief. They're talking about Scanty. They're talking about knee socks. They're even talking about corset. No one gives a fuck about Gaterbelt because of how disgusting his character is, and he's literally just a walking menstrual show. Like, that's what it is. His character really I wouldn't care if they wrote his ass out. Like, no one really cares for him. He's literally, his character, everything about his character is racist. From his design to what he does in the series, even down to his voice actor, because he's not even voiced by a black person. We don't need gaterbelt. Panty and stocking in general is a low-key, lazy art style, and the show is just blatantly racist. Okay, I don't agree with the art style being lazy. I don't think it's lazy whatsoever. There's a lot of hard work that goes into this. Like, it reminded me of that entire thing where people were trying to say that American art styles are lazy when they're really not. Like, okay, cartoons in different parts of the world are all gonna look different. American cartoons are gonna look different than Japanese cartoons. Okay, like, not everything is gonna look the same. And I appreciate Panty and Stocking for looking different. I love that art style. Like I said, it's literally my favorite style. I don't think it's lazy at all, but like, this show could be blatantly racist. I really agree. I agree all the way for that. Okay, here's the last one, and oh Jesus, this literally screams like so many of the issues I have with the show. Honestly, everything about gaterbelt is gross. Like, we get that, but I was mad every time you show up on screen. Yeah, I spoke about that. I love scanty undies. Like, that shit pissed me off. Like, I did not like that scene. Like, I honestly skipped through it because it made me that uncomfortable. I love scanty and I love knee socks, but that shit was just extremely unnecessary. Like, their sibling dynamic would have been the same. But why did y'all have to put that shit in there? Like, anime is always doing that. Like, there's always some type of weird pedo incest shit up in the anime. Like, have any of y'all not noticed that? It is. Like, I was so mad when I saw they put that shit in Spy Family. Like, wait, like, no, this was not needed, baby. Like, no. And then also, Panty and Stocking's, like, sibling dynamic could be borderline incest too, just as well. It's disturbing. I hate how this show depended on this shit. Like I said, there's a lot of good about Panty and Stocking, but there's a lot of bad, and it's very unsettling. And that is the end of me reading you guys' unpopular opinions and responding to them. Yeah, I'm glad we actually were able to have like a legit conversation about Panty and Stocking, because you know how people be. Anytime you try to give this show any kind of critique, they scream. Like, this is coming from somebody that likes it, okay? I love the art style. I like the characters. I feel like I'm the type of person where I be liking the characters more than the actual shows that I be watching. Like, part of the reason I could never get into the Percy Jackson series is because I always like the characters more than I like the story. Like, anytime I engage with any Percy Jackson like material, it would be like fan art and fan fiction and stuff. I don't know. Like, Rick Riordan's writing just does not do it for me. Like, I was like, I enjoy these characters, but like, I think I'm just not really into the Greek mythology thingy. I don't know. But if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below about how you feel about this damn show. Got ways to oh shit, I can't talk today. Ways to support me and have donation links, and have a Patreon if you guys want to support the channel and all the little work that I do. I have a book coming soon, 2 books to be exact. I have a lot of stuff coming. I have one more episode of Progenies. Support us on GoFundMe so we can get the funding to do more episodes. You can stream the show for free on YouTube. Link will be down below. And just thank you guys. And follow me on everything at Harriyanna, HARIYANNA. Thank you guys so much for watching. And have a good night.
'Cause I work hard to get to this point in my life. I'm blowing up, so don't hate. Just Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay. They coming through and fight